Hello, I'm Sarah from the Babywearing Academy and I'm here today to talk to you about the Nuby Baby Carrier. This was £20 in Aldi, so if we can get it to work, then pretty good value. I have not had this out of the box yet, it's still sealed, so I know as much about this as you do at this point, but the only thing being that I know a lot about baby carriers. So, you know, let's delve in and see what we make of it. So, I would say, just looking from the outside of the box, first off, they say 4 to 24 months. So that at least is being realistic. What they're admitting is it's not going to fit a newborn very well at all. So that's useful. However, it does also say 3.5 to 14.9 kilo capacity. It says capacity on it, which is unusual wording. Now that's going to confuse some people because it says from 3.5 kilos, which is a standard size newborn, but it says 4 to 24 months on it. Now the thing about that is the reason it says 3.5 kilos on it is that the standard safety testing in the UK, certainly in the UK, possibly worldwide, because it's a similar weight limit on most baby carriers, is that the companies send their carrier to a lab, the lab load it onto a machine, and the machine pulls, and they pull with 3.5 kilos worth of weight, and they pull with 15 kilos. That's usually 7 to 35 pounds. And they just pull with that much force. And if the carrier doesn't tear or break or give way at the lower weight or at the upper weight, it's considered to have passed. It doesn't mean it fits a baby at 3.5 kilos, and it doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable at the top end of the weight range either. So honestly, it's one of those things that I wish they didn't put it on the box. I wish they stuck with a realistic age guideline. And even then, babies are different sizes at different ages, different sizes at different weights. So, you know, if your baby is 4 months old but they're small, you may not get a decent fit in some carriers that say they're suitable from 4 months. So it's, you know, blah, blah. Anyway, let's get this out. I'll get it cinched down and then we'll see what we think. Let's have a look at the instructions first. Fasten baby in the back position from 6 months. It's a 2-person job according to this. Dear me. Right, so my initial impression is, I mean, really? I know some carrier companies go overboard and produce like a novel. Yes, baby Bjorn, I'm looking at you. But this is like the other end of the spectrum. So let's have a quick glance through here. There is no mention of safety guidelines, which is a little worrying, more than a little worrying. No mention of, that I can tell anyway, of guarding baby's airways. So what I'm going to do with those is that, because that's about how useful they are. So let's unpack the carrier. Okay, so it's got a fairly polyestery feel to it, but you'd expect that, I think, for 20 quid. The buckles feel fairly cheap, but certainly sturdy enough. Let's see. Okay, so we've got standard rucksack style straps with a back clip and a waistband. Okay, it tightens from the back, no facility to tighten at the front. Any strap on any carrier that has this little elastic loop on the end is so that once you've tightened your strap, if you want to, you can roll that extra strap up. Rather than having straps dangling around, you can roll that strap up, and then you can use that elastic loop to loop it over the bunch of fabric there, and then you've got a shorter, slightly tidier strap. I'm kind of the opinion that life's too short. I don't have the time for that sort of thing, but you know, if you want to roll them up and tuck them away, then go for it. Right, okay, so my automatic inclination for a carrier of this nature, I am not a flexible person. Trying to get this clip done up behind me, which is going to be kind of hopefully around about bra strap height, is just an absolute nightmare. So I would always err towards kind of leaving that done up. If you've got relatively long shoulder straps, I can always loosen these up a little bit. You can then put that on over your head, and you don't need somebody to do it up behind you. I'm going to take this off, because if I were going to put a real baby in a sling, I wouldn't want a scarf getting in the way. So I'm then going to find my waistband, and I'm going to bring that round. So they do have a safety elastic here. Usually I'm a bit meh about safety elastics. What they want you to do is put that buckle through that safety elastic, pull the extra webbing through, then clip it in, and then tighten it up. I generally find, like that, is that the safety elastic makes tightening the buckle quite difficult on some carriers. The idea behind a safety elastic is that if this buckle breaks while you're wearing your carrier, it's not going to come completely undone because it gets caught by that safety elastic. On a good quality carrier, I am not that bothered about a safety elastic. As long as you hear that clunk, you know that it's done up. It's not got fabric caught in it. It's not done up properly. Then safety elastics, I feel, are generally unnecessary. And I think when you've got a newborn, life's hard enough, you know. But that's what they're there for, and you are absolutely more than welcome to use them if it makes you feel a little bit better. Right, so now what I'm going to do, so this carrier is two sections. You've got the parent harness, and then you've got the baby carrier section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unclip the baby carrier section so that we can get a baby in it. Oh, good God, they've gone for the blooming loops as well. Okay. Where did those instructions go? What do they say about their annoying loops? Buckle one side of the carrier. I mean, like, everybody's obsessed with doing up half the carrier and sliding the baby in sideways. For a snug fit around the leg opening, fasten the loop over the button on the carrier. Why? Because you're saying the carrier doesn't fit to 4 months anyway. What you generally find is carriers that have this loop and button set up, for you to be able to kind of loop that around there, is to make the leg hole smaller, and they're, you know, so that your newborn doesn't fall out of the leg hole. I mean, really? But anyway, whereas they're saying that this isn't suitable till 4 months. I think it just feels a little bit like they're confused. I don't know. This little thing down here that I have heard people refer to as a spy camera is to narrow the base of this carrier. Now I would say probably 4 months, this is the right width, and this is on its widest. If you wind this up, you can hear that. Wind it up to narrow the base of the carrier. Then that probably would fit a newborn. So now I'm really confused. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unwind that. Okay, it doesn't make a noise when you unwind it. Are we winding it or are we unwinding it? Okay, doesn't work to unwind it. Okay, you just have to pull it back out. Right, okay. So I'm going to go with my 3 to 6 month size doll because they have said that this carrier doesn't fit till 4 months, isn't suitable until 4 months. So I'm going to go with my slightly bigger demo doll and let's see how we get on. So anyway, my parent harness is on, my baby carrier section is down here. Here is Charlie. Charlie is my 3 to 6 month size demo doll. I'm going to hold Charlie in that seated position as if I was going to hold them without a sling or a carrier. And then all I'm going to do is put my hand under this body panel and pull it up over Charlie's bottom and back, like so. I've now got 4 clips to do up. I've got 2 at the sides, 1 there and 1 on this side, and then I've got 2 at the top here. So it really doesn't matter which ones you start with. At this point, I'm just holding the baby and the sling. I'm going to start with the side ones. I'm going to go on under Charlie's arm. There's like a little button on the front. Yeah, here it is. You've got to be careful because you've got 2 buttons. So this lower one is the one that the silly fabric loop goes on, and then this one is slightly textured in comparison to that one. That one feels smoother. So you want to go for this one. Where's that buckle? There it is. That's going to clip on there. Yeah. I can then find the strap behind me and I'm going to pull down and forwards to tighten. I'm not going to tighten too much because I need to get this side done up as well. Under Charlie's arm. Find that button and clip on. That's really easy to do. So find my strap and pull down and forwards. Don't let go of your baby at this stage, but Charlie's a demo doll. When you tighten these straps, you want them to end up roughly the same length in front of you. What that means is that this strap on your back is nice and even. If you've got one very short strap and one very long strap, what you've got is skew-width straps. Now that's not a safety issue, but over time it might be a comfort issue. So just make sure they're roughly the same length in front of you. My comment at this stage is these aren't very long. So I'm a size 14, 12 to 14 on top, UK size 12 to 14. And so this is not going to be terribly size inclusive. So if you're bigger busted, you might struggle. If you've got more meat in your bones than I've got, you might struggle. Just something to bear in mind. I'm then I don't want this carrier to come up past the back of Charlie's neck. Apart from anything else, at this age, this 4 to 6 months they're very inquisitive. They want to see a lot of what's going on, and this is going to be an issue. So what I want to do is get that rolled so that it sits in the nape of Charlie's neck, and then I can get this done up. I wonder if it's going to stay. It probably isn't. If I need to tighten this, I'm going to pull up. It can be a little bit awkward. Some people are going to find it easier than others. And then same on the other side. Clip in, pull up. Oh, that does stay. There's a surprise for you. They do have a popper down here, which I'm assuming, there's one there as well. So you could popper that down. Yeah, so actually that works. For a baby of this age, that's absolutely fine. So it's above the top of Charlie's shoulders, and that's absolutely fine. There's a green zone that we often talk about in terms of support. You want your baby to be supported. The green zone is from the nape of their neck, the base of their earlobe, to their armpits. And basically, the older your baby is, the lower that support can go. So a newborn must be supported to the nape of their neck or the bottom of their earlobe. Once you've got a Hulk and great toddler, armpits is absolutely fine, but you always want the carrier to go up into their armpits. so they can get their arms out over the top and look around, but you want that carrier to be up in their armpits. So Charlie, at kind of let's say 4 months, if they're nice and awake, then top of their shoulders is absolutely fine, because they're going to be looking around. It opens up their field of vision, and they're not going to be too fussed about it. Once Charlie falls asleep, I can always unpop that and bring that up for a little bit of extra head support. I'm still not a massive fan of having it too far up Charlie's head, because it makes it harder to be able to monitor their airways. So if Charlie were to fall asleep, rather than having it poppered down there, I might just leave it rolled in the nape of their neck like that. So that just helps them feel a little bit more secure. It helps them feel, not me, but it helps them feel a little bit more secure. But it still means that Charlie's face is clear. I can see Charlie's face at all times to be able to monitor their airways. If they want to have their hands up here, then that's absolutely fine. By 4 months, generally they're going to be a bit happier to have their arms out. Newborns always want their arms in. They always want their hands up near their face where they can reach them. So you might find you've got elbows out, but obviously Nuby are saying that this carrier is not going to fit a newborn. Anyway. So, on its widest size setting, this is actually quite a good seat size. It's relatively comfortable. Let's go through the safety stuff and make sure that we're ticking all of our safety boxes. So often you may have heard of the TICS safety guidelines. The TICS safety guidelines is just a way of remembering how to cover all your safety bases. We'll go through the full TICS, and then I'm going to tell you about a slightly truncated version, which is often just easier to remember when you're trying to fly out the door. So the full TICS list. The T stands for tight. Your carrier should be nice and snug. It should hold your baby against you as tightly as if you were holding them in your arms. You should be able to put a hand on the back of their head, do a little dip forward, and not feel their body weight pull away from you. If you feel their body weight pull away from you, it means the sling is too loose. That can then give them space to slump into the sling, which can be a hazard to their airways. So they should always be nice and snug against you. The I in the word TICS stands for in view, and this is why we don't want this fully up, because I want to be able to see Charlie's face at all times. Make sure their face isn't covered with fabric, they haven't put their chin down, they haven't closed their airways, and yeah, I can just see them at all times. The C stands for close enough to kiss. This really is about having them nice and high, about being able to see them. It's also about having them above any soft, squishy parts of your body. Babies should be nice and high above that, with their head on the firm part of your chest. Makes it easier to see them, and it means that these soft, squishy bits aren't going to be an airway hazard for the baby. The K stands for keeping the baby's chin off their chest. Now, the easiest way to know that their chin is off their chest is when you do the ugly double chin maneuver to look down at them to check their airways. You can see the tip of their nose and everything above. If Charlie were to put their chin down onto their chest, when I look down, all I can see is kind of the tip of Charlie's forehead, and that generally means their chin is on their chest, and for small babies, that can result in them closing their airway. So making sure that I can see tip of the nose and everything above, and there's no fabric around Charlie's face. The S stands for supported spine, and this is very similar to the T, but it's about making sure they are fully supported and not going to have space to slump. So to make sure that Charlie is fully supported, I'm going to put a hand on their back and I'm going to lightly press. And there is absolutely no extra space in there. There's no space that Charlie can slump down into. And so when I put my hand on their back and lightly press, they don't get closer to me or uncurl or sit up because they're already snug against me. So it's very similar to that T. The truncated version of TICS, the one that's slightly easier to remember, is high, nice and high on the firm part of your chest, tight, so again, hand on the head, little dip forward, you don't feel them pull away from you, and in sight, visible. So high, tight, and in sight. Just makes it a little bit easier to remember than TICS. So, verdict. I mean, 20 quid, yeah. I don't see it going up to the age of 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to get my big doll and I'm going to get my newborn doll, and we'll have a look at it with those. I don't see it going up to 2. I think on its widest setting, at this age, it's fine, but then it's not going to grow so much, is it? Because it's already on its widest setting. So, yeah, I'm going to pause this, get my bigger doll out, and I'll show you the difference. Okay, so this is Sam. Sam is my bigger doll. Sam's about the size of a sort of 12 to 18 month old. I mean, these trousers, both my kids wore when they were 2, but I had petite kids, so, but yeah, it's not that it doesn't fit. I mean, I can pull the sides out so that it almost supports knee to knee, not quite, but I can tell you that a real baby is going to straighten their legs, because sometimes they do. These then just squish inwards, and then you're going to get this. And again, this is not a safety, this legs hanging down is not a safety issue. I can still tick my boxes, so still nice and tight, still in view, still high on my body above my boobs. But this, having their legs hanging down, what that's going to do is Sam is then going to arch their back and the head's going to go out like that, and they're going to feel really heavy. Having a carrier that stays knee to knee helps to distribute their weight around your torso. I mean, if you've ever tried to pick up a child of this sort of size when they don't want to be carried, the first thing they do is surfboard baby, and they go stiff as a board, and you absolutely cannot pick them up. When they want to be carried, they pick their knees up, they put their arms up, and it's because it distributes the weight around your torso more effectively. You can carry them for longer. They may not know that, but back here somewhere they know it. So yeah, having a carrier that is not going to stay knee to knee is going to make the baby feel very, very heavy. This is why I don't think it's going to go to 2 years. I suspect, I mean, let's see if we can put the newborn doll in it and see if we can still tick our safety boxes. But I suspect that it would probably fit earlier, but it's not going to last to 2 years. So even just with Charlie, the demo doll that we used initially, it fit Charlie, so at 4 months. So it'll probably do the first year. But for 20 quid, can't really go wrong, can you? Bear in mind, different brands of slings and carriers, it's like a bit like clothes, different things fit different people in different ways. Yes, for 20 quid, give it a go. You can always flog it on eBay or a local selling group if it doesn't work for you. Because yeah, different things fit different people in different ways, and the fit for you is just as important in making you comfortable and being able to carry your baby safely. So let me get Sam out. We'll see what we can make of the newborn doll in it. In terms of getting them out, support their weight. You've got your 4 clips to undo, 2 in the middle, 2 at the top. This one, squeeze at the sides and then slide it in to the middle of the carrier to be able to take it off. Really doesn't matter what order you do these clips in. You've just got to remember that you've got 4 of them, and then squeeze and slide into the middle. There we go. And then we can drop the baby carrier bit and hold the baby. Right. Stay. So wind the base in. Does it stop? It's still going there. Okay, there you go. Right. Wind the base in. Give it a cinch. This is Robin. Robin is my newborn size demo doll. Oh. So again, rolling it into the nape of Robin's neck, because I don't want it to go too high up their head and make it difficult to monitor their airways. Robin as a newborn is going to want their hands in near their face, so what do I think? Right, well, let's do the safety stuff. So T for tight. Robin should be as tightly held against me as if I were holding him in my arms. So hand on the back of Robin's head, little dip forward. I do not feel Robin pull away from me at all. They're in view, they're close enough to kiss. I can put a hand on their back and lightly press. They're not slumping. I can see their face. It's probably an insurance thing. So you aren't covered to use it with a baby of this age. The carrier says from 4 months, but that fits. And I'm ticking all my safety boxes. Baby's high, baby's tight, baby's visible. So yeah, I don't understand why they've done that. Would be interesting to hear from the company. But yeah, I will try it in the back carry position, but I would make that separate video because this one's already got quite long. So anyway, this is the Nuby Carrier, 20 quid from Aldi, as of January 2025. So yeah, I don't hate it. And certainly for 20 quid, it's worth a go. If you can tick your safety boxes, so baby is high, baby is tight, and baby is in view. That's absolutely the most important part. In any sling or carrier, baby is held nice and high, baby is held nice and tightly, and baby is in view. And if you are not comfortable, please find a local baby-wearing consultant or sling library and get them to look at how the carrier fits you and whether there are any adjustments you can make to make you more comfortable. But in terms of baby safety, they should be high, they should be tight, and they should be visible. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments section down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks a lot.